Hi, my name is Allison and I make stuff. And today I'm going to be doing the Seamstress tag. I'm really excited to tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm pretty new around here. No one tagged me, but I thought this would be a great way for us to kind of get to know each other a little bit. So grab your mug of tea or coffee or whatever and let's get into it. But before I start with the questions, I want to show you what I'm wearing. This is a very old make. I made this dress to wear to my graduation when I graduated with my associate's degree in fashion design. This dress is like 6 years old, 7 years old at this point. It is kind of like a scoopy neck, tank top, sleeveless. The top bodice is lined, but the bottom is not. And then it's just about knee length. I love this fabric. It's super duper drapey. I got it from a place in the Bay Area called Scrap, which I think is an acronym, but essentially it's like a secondhand store for art supplies and craft supplies. It is basically like heaven. It is such a fun place. And this fabric was super duper cheap, so that's really good because I was a really broke college student at the time. It has been worn on many a special occasion, and it is not in the best condition anymore, nor was it the highest quality make I've ever done, but it is one of my favorites. But it's not going to be my favorite from the questions. So, question 1, who are you? My name is Allison. I am a crafter, a sewer, and maker, all of the and I am married and I have a kitty cat, and that's it. Yeah. When and why did you start sewing? I started sewing when I was about 7 or 8 years old. I had these dolls called Magic Attic dolls. They kind of were like American Girl dolls, but they were all plastic because I think American Girl dolls are soft in the middle, and I really wanted to make my dolls clothing. So my dad actually helped me get a sewing pattern to make pajamas for my dolls and taught me how to sew. So my dad actually taught me how to sew, which is pretty cool. And I was hooked. I have been sewing ever since. Sewing was such an important part of my life that I actually went to school for fashion design. I went to Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in San Francisco, and I have an associate's degree in fashion design, which is why I mostly draft my own patterns. I don't use a lot of commercial patterns. I would say 99% of the patterns I make are self-drafted, and I don't sew or do anything fashion related professionally, but I am still incredibly happy that I have those skill sets, and I'm totally happy to share them with you. So if there's any topics you're interested in learning from me, let me know and I will try to make that happen. So what is my proudest make? I have a hard time with this because it's like picking your favorite child, which you can't do. I only have one cat, so she's my favorite cat. But I'd have to say probably my proudest make would be my wedding dress, which I'm gonna grab to show you. So this is my wedding dress. I went through probably 4 or 5 prototypes, drafting different patterns, trying out different styles before I came to this one. So I have a really high natural waist. So this sits me at my natural waist, though for most people this would be like an empire waist. And it is this really beautiful lace that I got for super cheap. I think I got this lace for $4 a yard, and I bought like 20 yards because I didn't want to run out. I think I have extra left over from it. It is full length. It is covered in this beautiful lace. I did a satin waistband. I actually ended up putting like a beaded decorative waistband on top of this, and then the scallop detail around the neck, and down the back there's a zipper, but I actually did these buttons to make it look like there were buttons down the back. But this is absolutely probably my proudest make because wedding dresses are expensive, and I feel like I did a pretty darn good job for not having much experience making for more. And it has really good memories attached to it. What is your most disastrous make? Mine is probably this dress I tried to make a couple months ago. I got this nice kind of soft, kind of thick jersey fabric, almost like between a jersey and a sweater knit. And I wanted to make like a cute little t-shirt dress with a circle skirt attached to the waist. And the fabric was so heavy that it just dragged everything down, and it looked like it almost had a drop waist, which for me is not very flattering. So that has probably been my most recent terrible make. All my bad Disastrous makes end up being recycled anyways, so it's not like anything is lost there. I don't really feel bad about making ugly or terrible or bad things, because what I really enjoy is the art of the sewing and the activity of sewing, so I guess I kind of have a zen mindset when it comes to making disastrous or ugly items. Where's your favorite place to go fabric shopping? I buy a lot at fabric.com just because it's easy. I can get it shipped pretty quickly. They have really good prices, and I'm kind of a cheapskate when it comes to buying fabric. I have a hard time buying fabric that's over like $7 a yard, which is very cheap as it is. So I buy a lot of things on fabric.com. Also, there's a bunch of local shops that sell kind of surplus fabric, so fabric that was left over from producing clothes and stuff like that. So that's generally pretty cheap fabric as well. So I'm a cheapskate, essentially. What is my most used pattern? Since I do mostly self-drafted clothing, I would have to say a pattern that I had made for a jersey dress. I have made probably 6 versions of this jersey dress in all different fabrics. I've changed the style lines on it. I've added sleeves or done sleeveless. And that's definitely probably my most used pattern, especially since it's such a comfy, just kind of like lounge around the house dress. So I basically only wear dresses these days. I don't really wear pants or shorts. Sometimes I wear skirts. I don't have that many blouses. So having a nice comfy dress just to sit around the house in is really nice. My most dreaded sewing task has to be sewing on hook and eye closures. I would rather like hand sew a buttonhole and a button than sew on hook and eye closure. I don't know why I hate it so much. I always make the backs of the zippers of dresses being like, oh, at the top I'll add a hook and eye, and I never do it. And I don't even mind that it looks kind of bad. I just like do not want to sew a hook and eye closure. My favorite sewing task might be ironing. Ironing is so satisfying. Or I like sewing like turned over hems on my sewing machine, because I feel like I get really good at kind of sewing towards the end. What is my favorite sewing entertainment? That's probably got to be YouTube videos. I watch a lot of other sewing YouTube videos. I also have been really getting into watching and listening to Postmodern Jukebox, which is this YouTube channel where they take modern music or modern songs and turn them into like vintage style and old-timey music, and it's just so fascinating because music I would never listen to normally. It just sounds so good in its like jazz version or like vintage, you know, boy band version. So that's been a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. They also make really good karaoke songs. If you go to a karaoke place that has Postmodern Jukebox songs, it's pretty fun. Printed or PDF? I gotta say printed. I just don't have the patience for printing out patterns and cutting them and taping them. I just feel like if that was the first step of the project, I would just give up and do something else. So I think definitely printed. What sewing machine do I use? So my main sewing machine is this one. It is a Belvedere Deluxe sewing machine from, I want to say the 1940s or 50s. It has a really good stitch quality. It's a nice metal machine and I love it dearly. I also have a small plastic machine that I use for stretch stitches, for other things like that. And I also have a serger. Do I have any other hobbies? Yes, all of them. I have all the hobbies. I cannot stop collecting hobbies. It's a problem. I have recently started doing pottery on wheels. So this is one of the first mugs I made. It's not the best mug, but I threw it on the wheel, and that's pretty impressive and cool. And I have been into candle making. So I've been making a ton of candles. I do a lot of these for gifts, which is kind of fun. So a lot of the extraneous crafts I've been doing, I've been collecting some of my makes for Christmas gifts because it's coming faster than you think. I've also done resin crafting. I play board games a lot. I mean, you name it, I've probably tried it once. I've made cold processed soap. I just get this idea in my head that I want to like make one of everything. I want to know how anything is made, and then I want to make one. Like one time I spent like 5 hours Googling how to make shoes. I'm not realistically going to learn how to make shoes. In my head, though, Allison on the inside is like, maybe I could make my own shoes one day. That's a terrible idea. So I have many hobbies, and I have a hard time not picking up more, so that's fun. So this has been my seamstress tag video, and I hope you learned a little bit about me, and I'm excited to learn a lot more about you, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!